Hey guys, RC Madness here, back for part number 5 for the 22 TLR AC 5.0 edition. We're going to start off here with bag H. Bag H is going to be the servo installation as well as the side rail retentions for the battery and the motor. So let's go ahead and open up bag H. Got our rims here, set those to the side. That's two, that's bag 1. Open up all our bags here, get all our hardware out. Okay, we got some button head screws here, a couple of countersunk screws, small button head, 4 flat washers. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our Servo 1258 servo. Okay, so as you can see here in the diagram, the way that this is going to go is the control arm for the splines is going to go on the left side as we are looking at it. And we're just going to button down some screws here. These are 3x10s. Use our little power driver here. And once again, we're going to tighten these down by hand, just so we don't strip them out. Just use one of these little spacers in the back here just to hold it out a little bit so I can screw that in there. And then we can just push that back out of there. Okay, so we have that. And then we want to find the proper spline. So for this one, it is a Servo servo. So for a Servo servo, we are going to use a 25 tooth spline, and the 25 tooth spline is going to be identified with the 3 dots on the arm. So we're not going to use any of these parts. These are for different servos for installation purposes. It gives you a list as to how many shims you would need. The Servox, we don't need any shims, so we'll just set those to the side, as well as the other arms. We will take our 6mm in length ball stud, We'll attach that right onto the arm, and that's going to go right on the front side of the arm that kicks out. And that just threads in. We can screw that right down tight. And we're just going to go ahead and line up our servo, set it to center. Tighten that down. Okay, now let's attach that right to the chassis. Just going to line it up here, flip the car upside down. One side. Have to start that with this driver here, I think. It does line up with the hole. We got it started. Use our little power driver here. And once again, we'll just hand tighten those. Okay, that is the installation of the servo. Now it looks like we're going to go to bag H3. This looks like our wing mounts. Let's see, go to bag 2 here. That has all the parts that we're looking for. Okay, so we have our Velcro for our body. We'll save that for later. And we're going to line up our retainers. And this here is going to be attached with the 3x10 button head screw. Use our driver for that. And per manual setup, on the side rails here, there are some holes. Let's see if I can't show those there. Right here, there are some holes in the side rail, and the hole in the back, I like to go, so you can see 3 holes in the front and 1 hole in the front, so it lines right up with the second screw hole there. We can go ahead and install our motor. The motor screw is a 2.5. Now this bottom screw can be a little tricky. There is a hole in the side rail so that you can screw that in. I generally like to take the driver, put the driver through, and attach the screw to the driver once it's through to where it has to be. And then it will line right up with the hole. Corresponds with your motor. Thread that right in. Snug that right down tight. And our battery mounts, they do have little rubber tabs on there. They snap over the front. And then they just snap over the back, and repeat the same process on the other side. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and I'm not going to install the wheels as of yet, just because we got to glue up the tires yet. You can buy pre-mounted tires that will fit on there. Just make sure that you get the proper offset. The last thing we will do to complete this build here, before we put electronics in here, the rest of the electronics I should say, is we will drill a couple holes in the wing mount itself. This particular wing, there are pre-dimpled marks as to where you can ream a hole. And if you line it up with whatever dimple you want, this particular one here, you can line it up to the middle dimple. It just pushes your wing closer to the rear shock tower. If you remount the first dimple here, which is the dimple that I use, that will allow you a little bit of space in between the wing. And it's always nice to have a nice sharp reamer as well. If you feel that the reamer starts to grab too aggressively on one side, flip it over and just lightly spin it on the other side. And we're just trying to ream a hole big enough to get those holes there into. We're not quite there yet. And there we go. Lines right up. Just got to go a little bigger with this one here. Perfect. Lines right up, snaps right over the hole. A manual here. And I like to use the wing mount at 0 degrees. You can mount it at 0 degrees, or if you flip it over on the other way, it will mount at 4 degrees. But if you mount it this way, this is 0 degrees. And that's just going to clip on there, like so. And then there is some 3x10 button head screws. Just going to find that screw hole there. There we go. Let's go just a little bit bigger here. There we go. We heard it snap right into place. Same on the other side. And once again, we'll use our 2mm just to hand tighten it down. And as you can see, now that we have everything on, once we finish our installation, our body fits on there nice and tight. And we're good to go. That is a build of a 22 AC TLR. I will post some pictures of how I mounted up the electronics in there. So happy building.